It's gonna be a quick one, right? I want all the viewers out there to take notice of the craters that's on the moon and the depth of those craters. I remember the moon was bombarded and hit by comets and whatnot. Meteorites, that's what they say, right? You ain't gonna see no deep holes in there, you feel me? And they know they better not go back to the moon. This actual Apollo 11 moonwalk footage from July 20th, 1969 from NASA. 9 hours, 8 minutes, 5 seconds. You see this picture? No stars in the sky. How is it no stars in the sky? But keep your eyes on the craters. You gotta wake up, you hear me? That's the big thing about it. Can't stay asleep forever, you hear me? Got to wake up. I'm gonna help y'all out the best I can, you feel me? I don't wanna talk too much about me, none of that. I just wanna teach. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop it right here. And I'm about to go find this footage and show y'all how the moon was hit by a satellite and run like a bell. Pause it right here. Y'all see that right there? Huh? It's about to get deep, y'all.
Right now, a NASA satellite and its booster rocket traveling at more than 6,000 miles an hour on a collision course with that right there, the moon. No accident. No accident plan. This is a planned mission. That's right. We're going to be watching it live. Robin Roberts, Diane Sawyer, Sam Champion, all standing by here. And by the way, they are sending tweets out from the rocket, which last said, wow, 10 minutes away from locking into the moon. And we're right, Sam, that it's going to send up a plume of rock, and they think possibly ice, and ice will mean water, which means...
Yeah, that water equals life. So what they want to know is if there was ever water on any kind of moon or planet, and so this is a good place to start.
We want to bring in two wonderful observers with us this morning. Astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who is standing by in Washington. Of course, he was one of the first men to set foot on the moon, Apollo 11, and also joining us, Ryan Owens, who's inside the Johnson Space Center in Houston. Ryan, I'll just start with you. Are we on time? Gonna happen soon?
We are on time. We expect we're about, let's say, a minute away.
Look at the craters, y'all. Y'all peep the craters. No deep craters.
What an impact it will be, as you said. This rocket weighs as much as an SUV. So we all like the moon. We look at it at night, but we are about to hit it twice with quite the double impact.
The size of an SUV with twice the impact.
Interested in seeing?
Well, I'm probably going to have to look at a replay because I'm going to be looking at you. But I'm very interested in the resolution of exactly what we've been getting from our satellite detectors to give us a little bit more accurate information as to just what is in the vicinity of the impact area.
Okay, Buzz, we're going to take a moment of silence from all of us and let Mission Control take us right to the moon.
Focus on them craters.
We should be looking for some signs of the impact on the leftmost part of the
with mid-infrared changes.
the left side of the shadow, right below the dimpled crater on the crater, the larger crater rim.
Man, y'all watch it.
Flight, this is science. Make the rate changes. MIR 1, 1 hertz. MIR 2, 0.1 hertz. Over.
Copy science, command flight, MIR 1 to 1 hertz. Sending MIR 1 at 1 hertz.
It's going down, y'all.
Directing the flight
It's really
team to
going down.
adjust the,
Y'all peeping them
sampling
craters
rate
though.
of some of the instruments.
Look at them
to
craters.
fit within the 1
No deep
megahertz,
craters.
Ready with MIR 2 at point 1.
The 1 megahertz signal limit.
Go flight. Command flight, send MIR 2, 0.1 hertz. MIR 2, 0.1 hertz, sending command. Flight confirm receipt of command, over. Copy that, payload.
Ryan Owens, what are you hearing right there from the command post?
We're hearing exactly what you're hearing, Diane, and that is that engineers are trying to figure out a way to make sure we can actually see this impact. It's a little unclear exactly what this thing's going to look like.
Position flight, 1 minute to transition.
It may be a little more than what it would look
Stay
like if
with
you
me,
dropped a
stay
pebble
focused.
in a bunch of sand. Although, as we have seen through that animation, this is going to be 350 tons of rock, and they hope some ice included in that will spray out of that crater once impact is made.
Shepherding spacecraft will be impacting a couple of kilometers away. This is the last minute before the shepherding spacecraft also impacts the surface of the moon. And the last minute of flight.
So they're saying they have about 1 minute left.
And you see we're getting inching closer and closer. It's like, remember when you were in school and they would roll out
We're
TV
watching
sets
the
in the
remaining
hall and
few
you didn't want to
seconds
simulate
of
this?
the L-Cross mission as we approach very rapidly the surface of the G.O.A.T crater.
And they're just making sure they have a good shot of the crater.
Still uncertain what exactly we'll be able to see. Is that the NASA equivalent of bars and tones?
Transition to DV mode.
Flight,
Payload confirm crater.
NIR 2, OPR change request. NIR 2 to OPR 10. Over.
And Diane, we should point out these are infrared pictures of exactly the same thing we were looking at in that black and white
November.
pictures.
Ready. Command flight, send November IR 2 to OPR 10. Command sent.
So Ryan, it has hit and they have an infrared picture, but I gather that they're still waiting for the next phase, which is the analytical machinery to kick in.
That's right. Let me try to explain this. There's actually 2 impacts. The one that just happened is the rocket booster. That's the thing that weighs as much as an SUV. That was the initial hit. Behind that, about 4 minutes behind it, is a satellite that is going to read that debris, scan it for any signs of the ice. And then that satellite will also hit in exactly
Y'all
the
pay
same spot.
attention,
So
man.
that will be, as we've called it, the double impact.
Y'all see what time it is, dude?
Copy science.
What would be important with the thermal is the color. You would get some heat out of the exposure.
I want y'all to see what time it is, man.
The ground conditions that just reported a shepherding spacecraft.
Let's see what time it is.
Shepherding spacecraft has hit the surface of the moon.
So Buzz Aldrin, we're watching them in Houston, applauding, obviously relieved that this actually happened. How difficult was
Early
this
in the
mission?
morning. 6:57 a.m., y'all. Going ahead and showing y'all what's real.
Buzz, can you hear me? It's Diane.
Feel like I gotta push out as much as I can.
Buzz, can you hear me? No, we have lost our connection with Buzz Aldrin. They can get to the moon.
Right. Not only can they get to it, but they can shoot into a crater.
Get him back later for more reaction. But
Y'all
as we
pay
say,
attention to what
first
she
of
say
its
now.
kind. We were talking Sam, about the fact that the moon itself is hit some 50 times a year. I had no idea of this. By impact similar to this, because it has no atmosphere, and therefore everything flying through space just slams into it.
And there were a lot of Twitter questions about why
got
are we
no
will that
deep
harm the
craters on
moon?
them?
And again, your point is no, it gets hit all the time
No
by
deep
debris.
craters,
The
but they
reason we
get
don't is
hit
we have
all
that
the time.
atmosphere and things get kind of burned up as they get anywhere closer.
Weird
to us. But
science,
there are
y'all.
all the
Weird
rocks and
science.
things flying around. They're hitting the moon all the time.
And we want to learn from that.
No deep craters on the moon,
Coming
y'all.
out of this, should have some wonderful data things.
That's computer generated right there, y'all. Excuse me, y'all. This is the real thing around.
Noises reportedly were heard in May 1969 by the Apollo 10 astronauts as they circled the moon. A month before the first astronauts stepped
Look at
foot
the
on
moon,
lunar
y'all.
surface
They get
on
bombarded
July 21st, that
by
same
heavy
year.
stuff all the time.
The three astronauts on board were Thomas Stafford, John Young, and Eugene Cernan. The sounds, which lasted about an hour, were recorded and transmitted to Mission Control in Houston.
Y'all heard that?
According to the Discovery show, the trio felt the sounds were so strange that they debated whether or not to tell the chiefs at NASA, for fear they wouldn't be taken seriously and could be dropped it from future space missions.
Y'all listen up.
NASA says the sounds could not have been alien music. An engineer from the U.S. Space Agency said the noises likely came from interference caused by radios that were close to each other in a lunar module and command module. Astronaut L. Warren,
That's the bullshit.
who flew on
Don't
Apollo
fall for it.
15, disputed that explanation, saying, quote, "Logic tells me that if there is something recorded on there, then there is something there."
Truth be told, y'all.
Here's a Caucus, Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin dominate our memories of that event. There's a third astronaut who deserves his place in history.
Y'all look at that moon now. It get bombarded though. Huh? Look at how it look now. And no deep craters now.
And as Sarah Arbour reports,
Excuse my editing skills. I'm new to this. I'm just trying to get this message out. You feel me? I ain't no podcaster. I ain't none of that. You feel me? But listen to this right here, y'all. I want y'all to check this out right here.
One day in 1969 and then again in 1970, the moon rang like a bell. We're going to talk about why today on Vintage Space. The Apollo lunar missions were all about bravado and beating the Soviet Union to something massive in space. But the missions were also about science. And among the main science goals is understanding what the moon is actually made of, or its internal composition. To understand what's going on inside the moon, the Apollo astronauts left what were called ALSEPs on the lunar surface. These were the Apollo Lunar Experiment Packages. Among these ALSEPs were passive seismic experiments designed to measure shockwaves moving through the moon after an impact. An impact could be a meteoroid strike, or a more controlled strike from a spent lunar module ascent stage, or
Y'all look at them craters now. Baby craters. Look at it now. They get bombarded all the time.
As part of NASA's inquiry into what the moon is made of. Knowing where these objects would hit and having an array of surface experiments on the moon left by Apollo astronauts, scientists on Earth could measure the information and understand what the moon's composition is. About 150 hours into Apollo 12's mission, after Pete Conrad and Al Bean had explored the ocean of storms, the crew sent their spent lunar module ascent stage smashing into the moon not too far from where they had originally landed. The shockwave built up over about 8 minutes to hit its peak and then took a full hour to dissipate. The scientists on Earth who got the measurements back from the ALSEP packages said it looked like the moon was ringing like a bell. Something similar happened in 1970 after Apollo 13's S-4B was impacted into the moon, again near Apollo 12's landing site. The shockwave built up and hit a peak after about 7 minutes, and again it took about an hour to dissipate. What interested scientists is that this isn't really something we see on Earth. Typically, a magnitude 5 earthquake, which was about equivalent to what these two impacts caused on the moon, dissipate in a matter of minutes. So why does the moon reverberate more than the Earth? Well, it comes down to moisture, or in the case of the moon, the lack thereof. We know there's water on the surface of the Earth, but there's also moisture in the rock.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for that.
This has a profound effect on shockwaves caused by earthquakes. As energy from a shockwave moves through our planet, that
Let's
gamma
go a little
material
deeper,
acts
y'all.
almost like
I want y'all to peep titles now. I don't mind sharing other people's channel, you feel me? Knowledge is power, man. That's what it's about. Y'all see it, huh? Look at what they're asking. Man, they put it right in your face. You feel me? Right there in your face. Huh? $1 million question right there. Y'all better pay attention, man. Wake up. Y'all wake up, man. We gonna get more into it, man. We gonna get deeper, man. But I've been going all night on this, you feel me? So I'm about to go take a nap. You see what time it is. I am early in the morning. Third video, you feel me? So y'all help me out. Subscribe to my channel. Set notifications, you know, the usual, man. Like I say, I ain't no podcaster. I ain't none of that. I ain't trying to get the fame, you feel me? That's why I ain't gonna talk about myself. But I'm gonna show you the knowledge and show y'all the right direction y'all need to go, and y'all handle that, you feel me? At the same time, man, y'all help support me. I just did 23 years in prison, you feel me? Serving a 25-year period. We'll get into that later on, you feel me? Ain't even about none of that. It's about this knowledge. And I'm gonna give it, you feel me? And I don't care how they come or whatever. I don't care about none of that though, you feel me? I'm the one. And I'm gonna show the world. Cause I see what's going on. It's time to stand out, you feel me? Let's band together and help God. It's love once again. That's what it's all about. Until next time.